The most important media outlet in the country right now.
Welcome to the Watering Hole. This is episode 109.
Here we go.
We're dipping our toes into that YouTube space, and we're dipping it heavy.
I'm all about that.
We are going
all about
heavy.
it.
And we've got our next guest.
Yep.
Mate, there's nothing short of a good YouTube guest. And he's a great golfer.
Yes.
I love the way this guy goes about his golf.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's part of a pretty good crew down in New Zealand.
Yep.
All right. Luke Toomey, sorry, I should say, from Luke Tooms Golf. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Oh, pleasure to be here, lads. It's weird hearing my full name. I don't think I've heard my full name for about 15 years.
We'll give it to Tooms. Yeah. Well, it was so good it got me messed up because I just know you as Tooms. So,
exactly.
Got me messed up.
Yeah, I know myself as Tooms. I think even my wife knows me as Tooms these days.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that with Whitey. Like I've had some friends when I was younger, like. They thought my first name was Whitey. They're like, so your parents called you Whitey Whitehorn? I'm like, no, dickhead. My name's Ben. You've known me for 3 years.
Yeah,
even Rick Shields.
Rick Shields asked that question. Yeah.
I feel that. When people say Luke, I kind of look past, like, who the fuck is Luke?
Yeah, who are you talking to?
Thanks for having me, lads. I've come prepared. I've got my little nightcap in hand here, so keen to.
Oh, beautiful. What's the drink of choice tonight?
I've actually gone for a bit of a sweet number tonight. Gone for a little Disaronno and Kahlua mix here.
Okay.
It was actually a little ChatGPT recommendation. I was chilling. I was chilling the other night, and I didn't have any Guinness left, so I went over to the bar. Had no idea what to make, took a photo of it, sent it to Chatty, and then Chatty came up with a few little numbers here, and this was an absolute banger to finish off the evening. So
wow.
Yeah, nice.
I've gone
Is this
for
a regular occurrence? Asking AI for drink recommendations?
It's kind of become a bit of an occurrence for everything these days. So Chatty's pretty much running my social media account.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. It's becoming pretty popular in my household, and it has snuck into my work as well. How often do you go to ChatGPT for the everyday answer? And this is a question to all of you.
I'm probably I'm a little bit embarrassed to say probably how often. It's probably more often than it should be. I go there for cooking. I go there for cocktail mixing, evidently. I go there for YouTube inspiration. But hey, why not? I mean,
absolutely.
It's a tool.
100%.
I'll tell you what, it writes a mean email. If you're struggling for an email to an angry customer,
100%,
definitely ChatGPT.
Resume.
Yeah, it's got some Chatty's got a bit of a passag tendency. I love it.
I've just gone to ChatGPT and it's just written me up like a gym program, and because I log in with I've got an account with ChatGPT, it's like, it knows what I like, and it's like, this will also help you with golf, surfing, and basketball. And I'm like, didn't even ask you about that, but okay.
There you go. There you go. All right, well we've got our obligation here, really. It's the sponsors. We got the Pirate Life South Coast Pale Ales that we're going to do a little bit of a hot crack here for you, Tooms.
Hot crack coming up.
Hey.
Oh, I love that sound.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful crack.
We were talking about some beers off there. We might have to see if we can flick you over some Pirate Lifes over there.
100%. Send them over.
Have you been to Adelaide before? Or you haven't been?
I actually have. I came. It's been a while. I would have come over for the. Oh, this is actually a great story. I came over for the 2014 Australian Amateur. Probably the hottest event I've ever played at the Grange.
Yeah.
We had, I think, multiple heat delays. I remember at one point we're about 34 holes in, had 2 holes to go, and I remember at that point being like, please don't give us another heat delay because I'm like 20 minutes from finishing here and I just want to get in the clubhouse. I bent down to pick up my ball, and as I stood up, I was like, honestly felt like I was pissed as a chook. Like, had the full-on head spins. No Disaronno in the golf bag, I can assure you. Just absolutely cooked in the heat. I teed off. I needed to make birdie on the last hole to make the match play. Teed off, middle of the fairway, hit it like 320 down there. It's a par 5 finishing hole. I'm beautiful, standing over it. As I'm in my pre-shot routine, hooter goes, right, everyone, inside. Had to go and sit on it for about 2.5 hours before it cooled down. But then went back out, made my birdie, and then got dusted in the first round of the match play.
Oh,
But the actual story is that Taco actually won that event. So there you go.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, he did. He did.
So,
He.
so you guys go back that far then?
Sorry, say that again.
You guys go back that far?
Yeah,
you and
yeah,
Taco's
yeah, yeah.
friendship?
We go back to like early junior amateur days. Probably, I want to say,
Oh, awesome.
probably 2012-ish, 2013-ish was when we first started playing together. So when we were little whippersnappers, still chasing the dream. Yeah. So we've been playing a bunch. It's weird that we've ended up here.
Yeah.
Two failures really. That's where our worlds collided, but in the best way.
No, the failures are on the other side of the
On
pond. In this
on this side.
That looks like quite the studio, by the way, boys.
Was that sorry?
I said that looks like quite the studio.
Yeah, it's not bad what you can do with a trip to Kmart. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is Steve's spare room. We turned it into a podcast room.
We've just taken over his house, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's quite a tidy setup. We'll just wait to hear my, almost 2-year-old son running around upstairs. That's how you know podcasts are authentic.
Yeah, 100%. I've got 2 cats. Well, actually, one's over there.
I thought that was a statue over there.
I can assure my clients, or not that I'm doing much coaching anymore, but there was always a little bit of hesitancy, especially if they'd come through YouTube, wondering if I was real or AI or a bot or something like that. And I sort of used to authenticate my lessons with cats walking by, and I was like, I can assure you guys, they are real.
That is not an AI cat, I can tell you that.
Brilliant.
Yeah. You mentioned that you came over to play Grange. What were your thoughts? Obviously, LIV Adelaide is at Grange for the time being anyway. What was your thoughts of Grange, and did you play any other courses while you were over here as well?
I only played the Grange, but played both courses. The Aussie Am being such a big event, I want to say like 240 players in the field with the women's field as well. So split over 2 courses, and pretty cool to have it at a dual course club as well. So everyone's on the same property. I don't honestly remember much of the West course. Not to say that it's bad. I just don't remember a lot of it. I think it's probably because I found the East course a little bit more challenging. So I remember plenty of that. Is the LIV event at the East course? Is that right?
It's kind
Or a bit of a composite
of the two.
Yeah. Okay. I loved it. In short, some of the par threes, some of those Norman par threes are absolutely brutal, and understandably, he made them long, and we had to hit 4 irons to the moon and be able to land them soft and on a dime. So he designed them for himself, the selfish bastard. But really good challenge. Some really fun holes in there. And I think, from memory, if you're hitting it good into the green, you can properly make a score there. It doesn't demand, I think, a heck of a lot off the tee. But if you miss your spots in and around those greens, I think you can get in trouble pretty fast. But equally, kind of a few little swales, I think, to almost assist you if you can get it inside that kind of 15-foot radius. It's almost like hit it outside 15 feet and you end up having sort of 30 feet plus, but hit it inside 15 feet and you could have, 5 feet just because of the way that those greens are shaped. So really fun, cool course.
And some bunkers that are no joke as well from what we've seen.
Yeah. And quite heavy sand from memory, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
John Rahm did say they were the nicest bunkers he's ever seen.
Nice.
Just saying, Adelaide does it right,
Yeah.
Put that on the resume.
Well, hey, having played with a couple of those boys in recent months, one of the most common questions I had for them was, what is your favorite event on the calendar? And nearly every one of them said Aussie. So the crowd's obviously awesome. They wouldn't say it if the course wasn't, immaculate as well. So whatever it is that you guys have got going on down there, keep it going.
And funny, you say too, the last time you were here was like the hottest day, because I think the LIV this year was the hottest. We were the hottest city in the world.
Yeah.
Thursday?
It was the day that Ron and Rick Shields played together. That was the hottest day in the world.
Yeah.
Which was, I think was it 40?
That was the day that we bailed up Rick Shields outside.
40 max.
Yeah.
Gets freaking hot. Way too hot for us Kiwis.
and dry.
Yeah, yeah. You feel like you're just breathing in oven air.
Yeah.
Fan bake.
Yeah, we'll cover off a lot tonight,
Mhm.
like the live stuff which you touched on there, coaching, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. But let's go back to the beginning, obviously, in New Zealand. Whereabouts in New Zealand did you grow up, and sort of how did you get started in golf?
I grew up, well, truthfully speaking, I grew up in a tiny little mining town called Huntly, which Kiwis over here will probably be pissing themselves laughing. It has got quite the name for itself. Um, it's pretty rough, but my dad was a community cop, and I think because of that, like you almost become like a, part of the heart of the community. So everywhere I went, I felt like everyone knew who I was, but in the most endearing way. I was, the local cop's son, and was looked after everywhere. And Dad used to sort of drop me at the golf course at 8 in the morning, and the golf course was my babysitter. So school holidays, especially, he'd drop me there. I'd play, 36, sometimes 45 holes in a day, and he'd be
Cool.
back to pick me up at 5 o'clock, and he'd still have to convince me to get off the golf course. So, yeah, I loved it. And we moved when I was about 6, although still had kind of a connection to that community. And when we moved, that was the first time we went to a club that had a local pro who sort of got me involved in the junior Sundays out there. Most of the kids were sort of intermediate age, like 11, 12 years old, and I was only sort of 6 or 7 at the time, and fell in love, I think, just with that whole group and that environment, just because I was so small, I think I got all the special treatment. So I don't know whether it was the golf or whether it was just getting, the extra love from everyone around me, but I don't know, just my whole sort of upbringing with golf was such a positive one, and one that I really like sort of enjoy looking back on, because I know that's not the same for everyone, right? So yeah, I've got an awesome relationship with golf, and it's probably why I still love it now.
Yeah.
Did you did you take to it naturally, and like was it like from a young age that you decided that it was what you wanted to do, for the rest of your life, basically?
Yeah, good question. I was actually talking about this with my wife yesterday, or it might have even been this morning on the way to drop her off to work, and I was more or less just explaining that, like, I did take to it quickly, especially at that age. Kids don't really take it up until a little bit later, but yeah, I took it up really young. But I played football and cricket, and I was a swimmer as well.
Yep.
And of those 4 sports, golf was probably the one that I was the worst at, at least to a like development level. And then, but yeah, I don't know. When I sat and daydreamed in math class, I was always daydreaming about golf. Never really, envisaged myself playing Premier League football or Black Caps cricket, or I was always, holding putts to win at Augusta. Not that I've done that. So that didn't really work out. But but yeah, I don't know. I always saw myself as a golfer for whatever reason. I don't know, but yeah, there was obviously some kind of underlying love for the game.
Something interesting you brought up there that we've kind of spoken about on previous episodes. All 3 of us have kids, 2 boys, and I've got a girl that's just come along. We were talking about kids getting into golf and how young is too young. Like, you're a coach as well. What do you think? Like, are you seeing really young kids taking it up, or how young is too young?
That's a great question. I think the hard part for me to answer this question is that I'm not a parent. So um, I guess I would say it comes a lot down to giving your kids the best exposure to the game, but letting them decide their level of kind of involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's no, you can't be too young. If I had a 4 or 5-year-old come up, and we put them in an environment where it's super fun and there's lots going on, and they find it really enjoyable, and they simply want to be in that complete environment, then 100% get them involved. Equally, I've set up environments like that where kids just would rather pick worms out of the grass. So I wouldn't say that's just because they're, too young. Either one, the environment's not quite right. Maybe it's not that time. Maybe there's, they simply just would rather be doing other things. So yeah, I don't know. There's no age, I think, that is too young or too old or whatever. It more just comes down to their own internal willingness to be a part of whatever it is that's going on. I think something that we do get wrong, especially in the coaching side of things, is the type of environment that we set up. Like, as I said, my involvement with the game was just hanging out with a big group of older brothers and sisters that I thought were really cool, and that I, felt like that I was getting special treatment from. It wasn't even necessarily, the actual golf itself that I loved. So I was probably lucky in that respect. I had super supportive parents that were encouraging of, I think, development, and there was kind of, you do your homework, you get to go to golf, but if you do go to golf, then you put in, some kind of effort. It's not just a piss around time. But they didn't have to convince me of that anyway. So, I just wanted to be there and giving it my best shot. So, yeah, I think probably coaching wise, we could do a better job of creating that bigger and more fun environment for kids, I think, to cling to rather than feeling like they're turning up and just bashing balls for the sake of bashing balls.
Yeah. When did you get into the coaching space?
I've always been a golf nerd, so I think if we look at the broader sort of sense of it, there's guys on tour even that are really willing to share information, and there's guys that want to turn up, play, get their work done, and then go straight to bed or eat or just get off the golf course. People always had to, I think, almost drag me off the range, and it's normally because I was sharing a taxi with someone and they wanted to leave. So yeah, I've always been inquisitive and curious, and it was probably to my detriment, honestly, for my playing career. I always wanted to tinker and fiddle with things and play with movement, and just was curious about the game in general, and still am. And kind of found myself in a spot where, like, people would kind of seek out my opinion or my advice, even when we're sort of traveling and playing on tour. So I was ironically helping my opponents at times. Fucking idiot. But yeah, so I guess I kind of fell into it naturally. I actually started doing it truthfully to just supplement myself financially to get back to playing on tour. So after COVID, I was really fortunate with having sponsors kind of all the way through, and even through COVID, they were awesome. Big shout out to those guys. But yeah, when I I don't know, I was at an age where asking for money sucks, and then even when you do get that money, there's an element of, I think, responsibility and ownership to them. And I just didn't want to, I think, play with that amount of leverage anymore. I wanted to kind of get there my own way. I thought it might take some pressure off, and so I started doing some coaching on the side to be able to help do that. That started kind of taking off because it was at the same time that the YouTube stuff started happening, and then I don't know, I think just one domino hit the other one, and it was never my intention to stop playing. I just kind of ended up in a space that wasn't playing. So yeah, I look back now, I still don't feel like I've honestly retired or quit, or I joke about it a lot, obviously, and play up to that. But I don't know. I would, like, if someone handed me a New Zealand Open spot or an Aussie Open spot right now, I wouldn't say no.
So that door's still open for you.
I don't know. I look, I can't see myself going and chasing it again. I wouldn't say that. I'm not. There's younger, hungrier, and far better golfers than me. And I don't necessarily want to go out there and fight those guys. I've done that, and I don't particularly want to go back to that lifestyle. But there's still a competitive element in me. So if I did get that opportunity now, but with no strings attached, I'd absolutely take it. I think it would be fun. But yeah, the coaching sort of just slots in somewhere in between, really. it was something that I was doing for free, and then kind of thought, why am I not doing this for some cash? So
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
Especially around that time, around COVID, I think that was when everyone was jumping on golf.
yeah, yeah,
And like you said, the YouTube golf was blowing up, so it was just
yeah,
a perfect storm, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. I'm a bit of a late bloomer when it comes to that. Like I was actually, like I was the biggest good fan on earth all through
Yeah.
COVID, probably as
Yeah.
we all were.
So,
And I'm still a fan of those guys. I think they're great, and I think they, effectively, grandfathered this whole whatever this niches that we've got available to us now.
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was watching it and consuming it more than I was even thinking about doing it myself, and I honestly was almost forced into it by Quan. Really, I did a couple of videos with Taco, more just as a guest. And more selfishly because he was like, hey, we're going to go play Kinloch or we're going to go play Tiarai. And as I said, I was still kind of playing at that time. So I was like, why would I say no to a free opportunity to play a wicked golf course with another good player, And we happened to be filming it, but if anything, it's just good practice, good preparation. So go and do it. And then did a couple with Quan as well. And one video led to another video, which led to another video until eventually Quan was like, you're a fucking idiot if you don't try to do this yourself.
Jump on this,
Yeah. So I didn't really have an option in the end. And even now that pressure is still piling on. Why haven't you got the camera? Why haven't you got B cam? Now you need a drone. So I'm just, my bank account is just getting drained at.
So where was the relationship with Quan and also Sam? Was that similar to the Taco situation where you knew him early on in your golfing career?
Sam and I probably go back even further than Taco. We played like proper. I mean, we were the only two freaks of nature probably in New Zealand that were, playing competitive golf at 10 years old, So we go way, way back. I actually vaguely remember playing in my first like provincial representative match. I had my 11th birthday, and I'm pretty sure Sam was there. So if he's listening to this, go and fact check that. I'm talking about the Toomey. I think it was some development thing at Golf.
Were you at my birthday party?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is there photo evidence?
Yeah.
If so, I didn't get a gift. That's my gift.
Then Quan he slots into the picture at PGA Tour China. So I played 1 year over there, and then the second year, I mean, he's got an amazing story. So if you ever have him on the podcast, I'll let him tell it. I won't ruin that for you and the listeners. But his story is basically that he needed to earn his way back into the country because he had lost his visa, and one way of doing that was coming over to PGA Tour China to get back to Corn Ferry. And so we met in my second year playing over there, and I don't know, because he had lived the early years of his life in New Zealand. There was a bit of a connection there with all of us that were playing over there, all of us Kiwis. When he couldn't live in America anymore, then he decided that, I mean, his choices were either Korea or New Zealand. So he ended up coming back to New Zealand and practicing out of the club that Taco and Nick Boak and pretty close to where Sammy plays as well. So there's just a bit of a relationship there. But even then, none of this YouTube stuff existed. He started doing that like I did with my coaching. He started doing the YouTube stuff to fund his way through professional golf. And then it just turned to some big, chaotic, ugly giant that he couldn't control. And it's still going, which is just epic.
Yeah, huge. You mentioned PGA Tour of China. What's that experience like for a kid from a small mining town in New Zealand to go and playing in China? What's that? Wow. That's got to be like unbelievable.
It's I mean, looking back now, it's mad. I mean, the fact that I even made it out of Hutley is mad, let alone I'm doing this stuff. But China is a crazy shock to your senses in every form of the word. It's big and bold and it's in your face, and the people are just, they live a different life to what, Western culture does. So yeah, it's not good or bad, it's just different, and it's a definite culture shock when you first go over. But looking back now, like amazing experience, wicked travel, playing awesome golf courses. Yeah, being able to chase your dream and travel and see the world, and especially get in and amongst foreign cultures is, what an amazing opportunity. So yeah, I mean, again, China's one of those things that we kind of joke about. It's how hard it was, and some of the things I probably can't share on this podcast. But yeah, it's just a crazy, wicked experience that I would do all over again if I could.
So let's go now to the YouTube side of things. You did obviously touch on it there briefly. What has the whole experience like with YouTube been like? I mean, what are you at now? 40? You said 44,000,
43,000,
43,000. Like, I mean, that's obviously growing massively. Did you think, like you said, how quickly did it happen? Was there like an aha moment where it was, or like a video that sort of just went bang for you that everything sort of started to take off to get to that number, or?
Not really. And like, I think the thing is like all I really know about being a creator in the space, and even, I mean, that almost gives me the ick when I say that word, but
Same
yeah,
with Whitey.
being on that side of the fence versus being a consumer of it is a weird thing in itself. But on that side of the fence, my only benchmarks or like the people I kind of, involve myself with are Quan, Taco, and Sam, who are much bigger and more successful than I am, more experienced than I am. Sam's probably a little bit closer just because we started at a similar time, but Taco and Quan especially are, light years ahead of where we are. And that's my only kind of measuring stick. So I get really like almost overwhelmed with like, oh my God, I'm so fucking terrible at this. Like my thumbnails suck, and my title and my titles suck, and my CTR sucks, and I mean obviously I'm only comparing to them, and Quan has to sit me down and almost remind me at times like, you need to pipe down and have some freaking gratitude, mate. You're doing all right. So yeah, I do have to kind of step back and probably take some better probably KPIs and look at a little bit more objectively rather than get caught up in the people I'm surrounded by. But it is, it's a chaotic beast to be in, and very, very new to me. Especially coming from a place where it's more of a dog eat dog world, and being in a space now that's like, honestly, if I win, everyone wins kind of vibe. We're all playing for the same team here. Yeah. And I think that's what it's what I've been so pleasantly surprised by, like meeting Grant and Mason from Buster Jack and Brian Bros. Like they're all so forthcoming with information and sharing their experience, and the idea of collabs. Everyone gets excited, and everyone's sorting out dates that don't exist yet, and it's just awesome. And it's so bizarre to me, just because I'm used to that awful culture of walking off the course, and there's your biggest rival waiting and it's just a big dick measuring contest, and someone going, how'd you go today? What did you shoot? And I was like, you better walk away before I punch you in the face, mate. Wrap this tour iron around your knees. Yeah. So it's different, and it's refreshing, to be honest. And then I think the lifestyle is the best part. Like I get to do all the same things, all the coolest parts of what I enjoyed about my professional career, but without the pressure, without the financial hardship, and I'm doing it with my best mates as well. So it's honestly like I feel like I'm just living on a cheat code for life at the moment. It's just awesome. It's nuts.
I was gonna say, you were talking about going to China in a professional sense, and now you're traveling the world again. But like you said, with your friends, filming content. I mean, that must be absolutely amazing.
I feel like I'm traveling the world again, but with my eyes open this time. Like last when I was doing it before, it's not that I didn't have any appreciation for what I was doing. I was super grateful to have that opportunity, but you've got a job to do and an absolute mountain to climb to, just make ends meet at times, and so it can become all consuming and extremely, I don't know, sort of goggle visioned in a way. And you don't see much more than the inside of a jumbo jet, a hotel room, or a golf course. So now I get to, put my suitcase down, have a day to, go and see the city that I'm in, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but that's very different for me, and very cool. Although the boys are normally just looking for the nearest Korean barbecue, so I still have to convince them to get out at times.
I've got a question. We've now kind of started to dip our toe into that side of things as well. And I want to ask
very slightly.
We got to learn how to play golf first.
My point is, I want to ask a good golfer this question.
Sure.
When the
it's very kind of you, mate. Just remember, I didn't make it. Carry on.
When the camera goes on, is there an extra level of nerves that kick in? Because I know that we feel it.
Nah.
Not Whitey. Whitey was killing it that day. We were fucking terrible.
Nah. I think probably like the first 1 or 2 videos, and I was nervous, but that's just because any foreign environment, you're going to be nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, it's like as though it's my place of comfort, The thing that used to make me nervous on a golf course was the fact that if I didn't make the cut this week, I might not be able to afford to get to the next event. So playing with a guaranteed paycheck in my pocket now, and I'm just taking the piss with my mates and filming it, there is no pressure there. So
I'm a big YouTube nerd, so I watch everything, and your guys' vibe of it's just a complete fun with your mates, talking shit the whole time.
Yeah.
You get in on the inside jokes and stuff like that. It's just really fun. I was speaking to these guys the other day about it. Your crew is like good golf, not taken seriously, and we're like extremely bad golf, taken extremely seriously. Like me and Steve play in the local comp every week, and every bad shot we're cursing and stuff, and we're 20 handicappers. So.
There's a mark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we're still competitive, and we've still got egos. We come from a professional sport. Of course, we're going to have egos, and so we still like to beat each other, but it's just not nearly on the same level as where we were before. So no, there's no nerves there. The only tension there ever is just because there's 5 boys living in a house together for 5 weeks at a time. Of course, there's going to be tension, But it's like almost. I mean, everyone's so level-headed in our group.
Yeah.
So you tell someone to just shut the fuck up, and that's it. It's done.
That was my next thing. I was like, does it ever get really tense?
Nah, not really. I mean, so I don't know if I can share this or not, but I'm going to.
Please do.
There's no filters on this.
No. We were thinking about leaving this in the video just to start some drama, but we didn't. So we played at the National, and as part of our Aussie series that we did, and this is still when. It is our second trip to Aussie, but I think it was really my only second trip with the whole group. I guess we've become kind of a one unit now. But still, everyone's getting a feel for how each person operates on and off the camera. And as I said, you're in each other's grills for, 3-4 weeks at a time. I think we're probably one of the only groups on YouTube that actually travel internationally and across the globe and spend that much time together as well.
Yeah.
And even when we're not, we're in group chats and sending each other shit 24/7. So we never stop really, and which I love. I think we're just everyone gets on so well. But I don't know, we were probably short on sleep, had a couple of drinks or something the previous night, and it's just carryover lethargy. And competition's getting tighter. We were playing for double points that day, whatever it was, everything just kind of peaking towards this one moment. And we'd kind of had a bit of a laugh where we're very aware that the viewers get pissed off with like our, chaoticness and rule changes and like
I love it.
talking too much during backswings and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think for the longest time we sort of played up to it, and then we decided like kind of before that round or that trip, like, okay, let's just dial it back a little bit. Actually, it was after Hamilton Island. We went to Hamilton Island, and it was like peak chaos where there was just no order, no sanity, nothing. And where I remember everyone got on the plane.
I think you walked off after like 16 or something like that, didn't you?
I
I don't
me
reckon
in
you played
particular?
before 18. No, I think
Oh, the group. Yeah, we just ran out of light that day.
yeah, okay, cool.
But I just remember it was just absolute madness, and we're in the hotel afterwards, being like, okay, we should probably just come back to reality a little bit. Anyway, for whatever reason, tension's a little bit higher on this day. I'm playing well, Quan's playing shit, and like, of course, when everyone's like, it doesn't matter who you are. It's not if just Quan. It's like if we're playing shit, like none of us want to play shit, and we're still competitive, and so there's still a little bit of something underlying in there. And Quan and Sam were kind of up the fairway. I'd hit an average shot off the tee, so I was already toey, and then I hit my second shot into the green, kind of flared it out to the right, but kind of as I was at the top of my backswing, Quan and Sam just like start breaking out into laughter like 30 meters up the fairway. So I was just like, shut the fuck up. But it was one of those things, like the tone that came out of me didn't match my vibe.
Yeah.
And I remember saying it being like, oh, how's that going to be taken?
Yeah.
And then it must have been straw on the camel's back for Quan, because he was like, oh, we can't even fucking talk while we're out here anymore. Lost the plot. And he'd hit it in a fairway bunker on, I can't remember what hole it was, and then knifed it over the back of the green. And then I was like, okay, everyone could feel the tension in the air. So I walked. Oh, also, while this was going on, Dan, the cameraman, was egging me on. So we're standing there. We're standing there while Quan's in the bunker, and we're like, oh, should we just have a chat, like intentionally loud, and start laughing while he's hitting, and start like pissing ourselves laughing? Then he knifes it over the back, and then he's furious, and he's like very like stone cold silent. And I was like, okay, we need to go and sort of break olive branches here. So I went down into the bunker, and I just put my arms out to give him a hug, and he just turns around and goes, fuck you. And it was the most awkward 2 holes you've ever played following.
The fuck you was serious.
Yeah, it was dead serious. And there was like a full on like face to face, not blowing up at each other, but there was a mediation. Taco was playing mediator, which is the worst mediator of all time, because he's got no sense of objectivity whatsoever. So anyway, there was no cart cams for the next 2 holes from my end, because I was like, the vibe is going to be awful. So I just leave this camera off. But anyway, needless to say, we sorted it out straight away and knocked it on the head, which is why I love these guys. Like, because it's a real friend group that has, 99% of the time it's freaking awesome. You blow up for 2 minutes and then it's done and it's over and forgotten and moved on. So, Quan, if you're listening, I was still in the right, brother.
You're speaking someone's backswing.
We need to get a rebuttal.
Yeah, definitely.
That's classic. So obviously, that story pretty much says it. Like, your best mates or your brothers and all that sort of stuff, they're the ones that you fight with, right? Or they're the ones that you can get serious with. You obviously got a pretty good crew there. Like, you mentioned some names before. We've spoken with Mason Nutt, and he seems like one of the nicest, most genuine guys ever.
Yeah, Mason's the man.
Out of that, a few of the names that you mentioned, like Grant and Brian Bros, etc. Who's another sort of character who you could see that you've, probably gotten a bit of info from or insight from with the YouTube stuff, and that you could see yourself doing a lot of content with?
I mean, honestly, I would love to do more content with Mason. Whether it's Buster and Jack or just Mason, I think they would be a really fun hang. The obvious one, I think, is FP, obviously. I mean, he just is the coolest guy. And it does seem like the world of YouTube golf wants us to collab. And I'm almost scared for how that will go, because that is just, that's unstoppable force, moves in a crashes into an immovable object. So I have no idea how that'll go. But I think it would be amazing. Not just for the viewers, but for us in general. Like, they just seem like such a fun crew to hang out with. So that could be pretty cool. I haven't got to, spend heaps of time with FP. And nor have I got to pick his brain a lot, because I know they are some of the most clued up guys in the space. Sort of borderline geniuses at this stuff. The fact, I mean, like, we're kind of lucky in the sense that we come from that kind of professional golfing background, and so already that's sort of like a point of difference, I guess, for us. Having to earn your way up purely through personality is a whole nother ball game.
Crazy.
So those guys know what they're doing, and they are freaks at it. From what I hear, and by all accounts, Bob is just on another level with that stuff. So keen to, whether it's sit down with them for a beer and just shoot the shit, or whether we collab, I don't care. I just love to meet them and hang out a little bit more with them. Grant, I'd love, I do feel like that is a realistic thing that's not too far away. We haven't made any plans with them, so whoever's listening, don't get too excited or get your hopes up. But I mean, on the brief exchange that we had with him at LIV Virginia, I know that both parties want it to happen. It's just a matter of scheduling, and he's obviously the busiest boy in YouTube golf at the moment, if not golf in general. So. It's going to be a hard man to probably pin down for a few dates, but I don't know. I'm confident we can make it happen at some stage, and I would love for that to happen, because he is just, I don't know, what you see is what you get. He's the nicest guy with the biggest teeth and the longest shins on earth. So
the golden boy.
Yeah,
the golden boy.
He is the golden boy.
All the people that you've mentioned, I just keep picturing them with Sam, and it just makes me laugh. Even with Sam, with the Bryan Bros. Like, have you ever had a serious conversation with Sam? Like him on camera, man.
Yeah,
absolutely kills me.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's like one of the most endearing people you'll ever meet. I know we get lots of slack for probably coming across like we bully him. We're all we're very aware of our characters, for lack of a better word, that we play. And we're very aware of probably our group dynamic, and we obviously play up to that a little bit. It is, I mean, we are us, we are authentic, we're not changing anything. As you've probably gathered in this podcast already, I'm like Monica from Friends, uptight, anxious, have to be on a schedule. I'm like the dad of the group, so that's, I'm aware of that and play up to that. And Sam is like, of anyone on earth, if you were ever in trouble and you called him, he would be there. He would be the first person there in a heartbeat. So he is just the kind of heart of the group. He is such a cool hang and so reliable and trustworthy. So, he's
just seems like
cool.
Nothing shakes him. Like he's just
nothing.
Has a sense of humor about everything.
Yeah.
Enjoys making people feel
uncomfortable. Yeah. I will say, like, social awareness and knowing where the line is, non-existent, which is great. It's funny to watch that play out in real life, especially with America and Americans who are a little bit more, straight and narrow. So throw Sam a bit of a curveball in there, and it's pretty funny to watch unfold. Wesley took it beautifully. I'm not sure George was on the same page, but you'll see all of that come out I want to say a week or two after the Open. All that content will
Okay,
be
awesome.
coming out for you guys, so you'll get to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that hectic dynamic unfold there.
Oh, just the Sam Wesley dynamic itself is absolutely killing me.
Mm,
Yeah, it was good
mm.
to watch.
So, Live Virginia, you touched on it there. How was your experience with, I guess, with the creators, but also with Live Golf as a whole, the
Mhm.
players, the access? How did you find that whole experience?
Yeah, it's cool, man. So we did Live Korea and then we did Live Virginia. Both have been awesome. It's how do I say this? I want to say the players and the people running that, they get it.
Yeah.
From a perspective of they put the players first, which is something that none of us pre-live knew that even existed. It was like the tour owned everyone, and not just the PGA Tour, all tours. They were very much running the show, and honestly, I think to some degree abusing the product that is the players. And it was only when Liv came along that I think players started to realize, like, oh yeah, like we are the product here, like we are the selling point. So, the mere fact that the players have, their own rights to, footage, and you can see that they're encouraged to share their own stuff, like rather than it be, kept by the tour and the tour owns it. And like I know that there's like, Phil Mickelson's top 20 shots that he can't, not that he's told me this by the way, but that he can't access or get from the tour because the tour owns that stuff. So that's just nuts to me. So
It's crazy.
so I think from just a like a respect for the players, I love it in that regard. But as far as like just people to work with, super cruisy. I'll say the vibe is definitely different out there, especially amongst the players. You can tell that they want to win, but there's not that same kind of angst and almost anger in the atmosphere. It's a little bit lighthearted, which I know people are going to jump all over this and be like, it's a paycheck and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure there is an element of that, but I also do believe it's just because of the difference in the culture that, Live putting the players first and them feeling like they can kind of just, go and do their thing, which is cool. The players are all super forthcoming. As I said, like I feel like they get it as well. They understand that yes, they are obviously there chasing their dream, trying to play at their, the peak of their abilities, try and find a way to qualify for majors, whatever that looks like. So there's that still element of competitiveness to them hugely, but they also understand that they're there as entertainment value as well. And so engaging in stuff with us, it's very easy, I think, to be on that side of the rope, or even having been on that side of the rope to some degrees, it's very easy to take that like, who the fuck is this YouTube guy that we have to deal with today? He probably thinks he wants to play on tour, is good enough or whatever, and you got to go and put up with him for, a pro-am and, cameras in my face that I don't need while I'm trying to prepare for an event, and none of them are like that. They're all super sort of forthcoming. So, yeah, I got a lot of respect for both the tour and for the players on that tour as well.
It's like everyone that we've had on this show that's like involved with or close to
Works
Live
with, yeah.
says the same thing. The relaxed atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like everyone's so open. We've found it as well. Like we've done the last 2 Live Adelaides, and like we've found that everyone's really giving and generous.
Welcoming.
And yeah, like it
just seems
a great place to work.
Like that just really cruisy and kind of open to ideas. Is that what it felt like when you guys were doing, any of your footage and you were like being just amongst, like the Live Jules sort of stuff? Is that
So
sort of feeling?
I mean, I think the easiest way to frame this is like go back pre-Live Tour.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Phil Mickelson on YouTube for one, and then engaging with, let's call ourselves normies too? Not at all, right? Like they all still had like what every other athlete had at that stage, which was that kind of like there's a barrier between the spectator and the superstars of this sport. And so Liv has like completely removed that barrier. As I say, they sort of understand it, they get it, and they've kind of they've made those guys feel like human beings and made them feel approachable. And they are approachable. Like,
Yeah.
I was honestly pinching myself, the fact that I was like, you know, shooting the shit with Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson and John Rahm. Like, a bit of back and forth with John Rahm. Honestly thought John Rahm was going to punch Sam's head in on the first hole at the Hills. That was pretty funny. The fact that we have that opportunity is just absolutely madness to me. It felt like, you know, so close, but light years away at the same time when I was trying to pursue the professional golf route. And the fact that I'm here now, ironically, haven't stopped doing that or given up on that is pretty funny. But also just, you know, I don't even know what the word is to describe what that feels like, but there is some childhood dream sort of shit going on in that, which is cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We've obviously got the event here in Adelaide, and there's been talk about obviously how successful it is, and it's kind of like the blueprint for what LIV are trying to do elsewhere around the world.
World's best golf event, 2 years running.
2 years running. A lot of other people in Australia are saying that they reckon it should have a second event. One that we think would work really well is in New Zealand because it's not too far for the Aussies to also travel, and there's that.
I went very heavy on this news last year and
said there was definitely going to be
an event in 2025. Said it was definitely happening. My source led me up the garden path, but
if there was to be one in New Zealand, do you think it would be just as successful or big as the Adelaide event, and B, if it was, what course would have, I guess, all the infrastructure that it could actually hold an event that size?
Oh, such a good question. It would definitely have to be taken on by the right people, as you know, probably every event, it's very much reliant on those that are running it rather than kind of like the location specifically. I do think that one thing that we don't do well in New Zealand is fandom. So if you look at if you look at Aussie and the way that you guys support your 40 teams and your AFL teams and things, like you can pack out the MCG on any given Thursday, which is crazy. The same goes in England with their football culture. I mean, you don't need to dive into America. They're the craziest fans on earth as far as, you know, getting in behind their college teams, NFL teams, basketball teams, whatever it is. New Zealand is awful at that. So, I mean, we barely even sell out an All Blacks tests. People would rather watch it with a wine in their hand on Sky TV, I think. So I don't know what it is or why we're like that. I wish we weren't. I still think that because of the hype around it, because it's so new and different, and because of the this fanatic thing that we've got going with golf in general at the moment, I still think it would probably kick off. The thing that I think would be a harder question is like, is it sustainable and could we do it year after year? I also think that we would need some pretty hectic investors. Just the economy is probably not as strong here, so hosting it and getting that level of player over here might be quite tough. Unless, I don't know how these things work with LIV, by the way, but whether it's all funded by them or whether, you know, New Zealand government has to put in a certain amount of cash like they have done in the past with New Zealand Opens and things. Like I know that getting Tiger here, that debt only got paid off like 3 or 4 years ago, and that's like 20 years later, you know. So I know these things aren't cheap and they're not easy to run. So that would be the only challenge. Logistically would be a little tough too, because more so of the geography of where we are. So like unless Queenstown kind of put their hand up and, you know, Milbrook or Jacks Point goes, yep, we'll have it. I mean, Jacks Point, you can't really have it because getting TV towers out there would be a nightmare. Milbrook, you could have it, but they already do New Zealand Open. Royal Auckland kind of comes to mind. The thing is, it's like everyone will be like, you know, why don't we just have it at Kauri Cliffs or, you know, Tara Iti or Tiarai or whatever. But I mean, logistically, you can't do that. You'd get no fans for one because there's no accommodation out there and they can only house so many people. So you need to have it like close to kind of a pretty large airport and
Yeah.
town or city. So Auckland, Wellington, and Queenstown and Christchurch probably the only places that you can actually have it.
Yep.
Auckland doesn't have that many good golf courses like in that immediate area, apart from probably Royal. Don't at me for that comment, New Zealanders. I think, yeah, Christchurch is sneaky good. Like it's got a lot of good golf courses in the immediate area, Clearwater being one of them. Christchurch is quickly becoming a pretty cool and up-to-date, well-developed city as well. So there's definitely opportunity there, and relatively untouched as well as far as hosting massive sporting events. So there's definitely opportunity there. It's just depending on if someone wants to put their hand up and run it there. But we do have a bit of a tendency to want to get down to Queenstown. Hey, it's like our
it's
little
on our list.
Yeah, we love to, it's basically our big pair of titties that we want to show off to the world. So
it's absolutely beautiful and clean.
Yeah.
Jack's point. Was it Millsbrook? Was it or Milbrook?
What's that? Jack's Point and Milbrook? Yeah.
Yeah. So Milbrook was where they had the New Zealand Open, wasn't it?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
But I mean, both of those. Oh, because they were the videos
with Ron.
Yes.
I think Ron.
Yeah.
Looked unreal. Like, that amazing,
it's another world down there. It doesn't even feel. I mean, it feels like you're in Switzerland, not New Zealand.
And Jack's Point pretty new as well, isn't it?
Relatively new. I honestly couldn't tell you the like how old it is. But it's been around for a little bit. It's probably no. Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't say, but it's it's definitely not ancient, but it's definitely not like 5 years old or anything. It's not that fresh.
Now, I mean, we follow LIV pretty heavily, and we got all the teams and all that sort of stuff. What is your feeling about the team golf aspect with LIV? Some people hate it and think it's not even worth following, and it's cheesy, it's corny. I mean, we love it because we're big sports fans and love jumping on a team in general. But what do you think as a golfer? Is that something that you would? I mean, because they like playing for each other and trying to get the money for each other on the final day. They have to play well, and all the points count. As a golfer professionally, like what would you have enjoyed that sort of aspect of golf?
As a spectator, or would I love to play in it?
Like to play it either. I guess either. I'm probably asking more as a player.
Yeah, I would love to play in it. So that's an easy one to answer. I think playing as part of a team, still having the individual stuff, but playing for something bigger than yourself is awesome. I mean, who doesn't love that team culture? And do you know what? I actually will be the first person to put my hand up and say that I really misjudged how the players, I think, interact with their teams. I thought that they wouldn't give a toss. And being over there, we got to play with Danny and Kevin, and went out to dinner with those two guys who are just awesome human beings, by the way. And listening to them talk about how much they care and how much they like, not being sort of ridiculous about the way that they were saying this to us, by the way, you could just tell in what they were saying. Kevin was talking to us about the scheduling that they had and trying to pick members of the team and how hard it is to make sure you've got the right guys on your team for that team dynamic. And there's so much that goes into it, and they honestly blew me away with how involved they are with the team aspect part of LIV Golf, which I think is really cool. So short answer, I would love to be I'd love to play in that. Just putting it out there, how good would a YouTube team be, by the way?
100%. There we go.
We've said that. It'd be cool.
I think we talked about this when they first announced Rick Shields. It was like, are they going to bring in like a 14th team that's going to be like a creators team? It would be awesome.
Oh, how good would it be? Even
the content.
100%. I mean, they get absolutely smoked every week, but it would be such a good watch.
I would love to see that team come through 12 at Grange, the watering hole.
Yeah. Also, imagine the day that they just don't come last. Like it would be, it would go crazy.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, that's like Jamaican bobsled stuff. That
Cool runnings.
Yeah.
What a movie that is.
What a movie. I might even call the team that.
Cool runnings.
Cool runnings GC. I think that would be cool. But yes, I'd love to play in it. As a spectator, it's a bit trickier for me to answer. And that's because I am probably such a traditionalist and what I grew up with, basically.
Yeah.
I love watching the majors. I won't sleep a wink these next like 5 days. And yeah, I think just the team element at the moment, because of the situation that LIV finds itself in, isn't as good for a spectator because there's less involvement with the best golfers in the world. And so I think that's a shame. And that's no fault of their own. I mean, lots of people, again, will probably come at me and say they sort of made their own bed. But I wish that every fan, I think, every true fan wishes that the worlds would just come back together in some form, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I want to see Rory and Scotty and John Rahm and Dustin all playing against each other, not in separate groups. And so, yeah, if there's a team, if there does become a team aspect in that regard, then I think that will be a winning formula. For now, as a spectator, not quite as good because the best players in the world aren't there.
Yeah. Before we get to the last few bits, as you mentioned there, we've got a pretty big one coming up now. Obviously, the final and fourth major. You got a tip for us? Who's looking?
Tooms tips.
Who's looking the goods?
I've got a few. So I actually on the podcast saying this the other night. So my heart obviously wants Tommy Fleetwood to
especially after
do some stuff. Just make some magic happen somehow. That would be just ridiculous, I think.
First win a major.
Yeah, everyone wants to see an Irishman win in Ireland. And I mean, it would be a bit of a joke, to be honest, if Rory McIlroy got it done in his pretty close to his hometown. So, I mean, that's another one. One that I would love to see get over the line is Justin Rose. Just home open. I think he's had so many close calls, just being, probably he would even admit in the twilight of his career. And he's still doing it big with the best in the game. He's featured in the last, few majors, last year's Open and this year's Masters. And just the way that he takes defeat like an absolute champion, I would love to see him just bring it all together and get it done. And then the obvious one, I think, for a Kiwi is Foxy and or Dan Hillier as well. I would love to see Dan get it done. Both of them have the game. When Foxy's got his chest puffed out and he feels like he's on, he's crazy hard to beat. And Dan Hillier is, and I know that his own peers on the main tours would agree with this, is one of the best players, probably I'm going to almost go out on a limb and say top 10 player in the world tee to green. He is an absolute freak off the tee and into the green. So if he can, I think, do the business tee to green, not rely too heavily on being around the green, which honestly Portrush can lend itself to. It's not as traditional in the sense that you're like running it in from 50 yards or whatever, just because there's the greens are kind of pitched up with bigger runoffs. So I don't know. He's a chance, and I think both of them have got a good chance if they play some of their A- or better golf. So I'd love to see either one of those two guys up there doing battle. But yeah. There's the obvious picks, I think, Bryson's and Scotty's and all that jazz. Even like Rory's obviously a part of that conversation, especially after last week's performance. But that's a boring conversation to have because we all know it, and the shit odds anyway. So who wants to get on that?
Yeah, you're not putting money on that.
Yeah,
I think Rose is a good pick. He's played well in some of the majors.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
A couple of roughies, I think. I think. Oh, sorry. I want to throw. I think if I have to, by the way, make a pick, I'm actually going to go with Ludwig Oberg. I think he's an absolute freak show. It's a matter of when, not if for him. And I don't know, something about the Open and Ludwig just feels right. So I'm gonna lock in him. Bit of a roughie. Who could I go with? I think Corey Connors is always a good shout for an outside pick, just because of how consistent he is tee to green. And obviously in majors, like, you can't win it off the tee, but you can certainly lose it, and you can almost guarantee that the more penal it is, a la a major, the more that those guys are going to feature, and the more they have a chance. So, I think Corey Connors is good.
He's there. Seems to be like he's like always up there early on as well. He may just fall away, but like he's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Another good name to watch.
Just a kind of a bit of a dark horse. He's like kind of always there, but no one really pays attention. And I think it's probably not going to be too long before, he starts to figure this stuff out, feel a bit more comfortable in that situation, and bang, he's right there. So I think he's a good sort of outside pick.
Now, just before we go, because we don't want to hold you up too much, and we do thank you so much for coming on, but just before we get to the final 4 questions that we ask all of our guests that come on the Watering Hole podcast, Whitey.
Yeah, thank you.
What's in the works, just before we get to those final 4 questions, what's in the works for you and the YouTube stuff? Have you got any little hot gossip things you can drop on here? Or what's
drop
coming
the goss.
up? What's the next busy few months look like for you?
I will say that there's a lot of hot gossip stuff in talks, but nothing confirmed. We've
Looking tease.
I love rumors.
Nothing I kind of haven't alluded to already. We're talking, I think, sporadically with, the Grants and Masons and FPs and things, and
nice.
it just, we're also very aware that we're quite fresh and new. Quan not so much, but I think us as a group, we're very fresh and new, and we don't want to be the people that are, knocking on the door repeatedly until someone opens, and then they feel like they have to film with us because, we're just being annoying. So we want to earn our way up there, which is why we've probably done less collabs than most. I mean, there's just an element of respect, I think, that we have for those guys, and we'd like to earn our way into that opportunity rather than just be, pedantically annoying about it. So that time will come. It's just we're just being patient with it. I think the stuff that I can definitely say is that we're going to Michigan. We've got a trip to Michigan in mid-August.
Nice.
And it will just be the 4 of us, I think. Again, just scouting out some of the cool venues there. And then super exciting is this trip with Mitsubishi Chemical Group or Diamana Shafts. I can't disclose the venues or anything just yet. I'll let that come out in the content, but that trip is going to be next level. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. I think the content will be a little bit different to what you're used to seeing as well. So hugely excited for that one, which will be in first week of September. And as you guys know, like, there is some lag time. So that stuff will probably come out a month or 2 after that. But 2 pretty cool trips coming up.
Awesome. Can't
look
wait.
forward to.
Whitey, strap yourself in. You're gonna be busy watching YouTube.
I'm strapped.
All right, now we get to our final 4 questions we ask all of our guests that come on the Watering Hole podcast. The first one is pretty standard in the golf world anyway. The fantasy foursome. So yourself and 3 other golfers or 3 other people.
Okay.
Could be anyone. They don't have to play golf. But if you're picking 3 other people to have a round of golf with, who's your fantasy foursome?
God, that's a tough question. But I'm going to say Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
100%. 100%.
What a group.
Look at it.
Wow,
All pass? Or...
you can even ask my wife that. She knows. She gets Miles Teller. I get Anne Hathaway.
Okay. Now, is she playing golf in the Catwoman outfit or not?
Oh, I don't really care, to be honest.
You don't care? Nice.
That's a winning combo.
Your favourite course? You've obviously played a bunch, but your favourite course? Now, it doesn't have to be one that you've played. It could be one that you haven't. We've obviously seen a bunch of the LIV courses that we love, and Virginia looked bloody sensational as well. But what would be your favourite course?
I mean, anyone that doesn't say Augusta is just absolutely crazy. But I guess to throw one that's like not that exclusive and difficult to get on, one that you maybe could get on. I could play Peninsula Kingswood until the cows come home. I think that place is just freaking ridiculous. It's so well designed. It's so fun to play. It's tough, but it's fair. The greens are absolutely perfect all the time. The clubhouse is a place that I could even go to and hang out and just not even play golf. The people there, the members always feel like they're, happy to be there. You don't get that snobby culture that you think you would. The staff are always so amazing. So I could go to PK and live happily ever after, to be honest.
Yeah, nice. Probably my favourite question of the four is one that we've just held an entire segment around, which was the watering hole song. So we're named after the 12th at Grange, the watering hole. Every player comes out and they tee off to try and get the ace. They get the crowd pumped up.
We take this very seriously.
We take it very seriously. Very seriously, Tooms. So every one of our guests must have a song as well. And Ron Chopper was just the winner with Careless Whisper, George Michael. So the whole...
Oh, what a song. And that is so on brand. That is so on brand.
On brand, isn't it?
That's why he's the winner. Now, I'm saying this to you now because it's very important. They were the first 100 guests.
Now we got the next 100.
First 100 episode guests, I should say, not 100 guests. The next 100 episodes, we're going to put them into a bracket as well, playoff. So... what would be your watering hole song for you to pump up the crowd
gosh.
to get the ace?
Oh, my God, that is so much pressure.
You could win the championship with this answer. So
that is so much pressure. Oh, my gosh. Whatever I say, I'm going to regret tomorrow. On the spot here is difficult. I take my music very seriously as well. I know what I say here isn't gonna win, but it is authentic.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say you gotta be true to yourself.
100%.
And to be fair, if we've learned anything from the last few episodes, and we're going through the results, sometimes the perfect song for the perfect person, it just goes a lot longer than what we think.
The whole package.
Yeah. I'm gonna lock in Guns N' Roses November Rain right before it gets to the end.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you want to see some people cry is what you want.
No, I remember Whitey. So Whitey and I used to work together, and I remember one day we were driving home, and it was a bit of a day, and he goes, "Do me a favor," he goes, "put Guns N' Roses November Rain on." And he goes fast forward to the second guitar solo.
The second guitar solo. Yeah. I'm gonna be truly honest here. At a young age, probably not even at a young age, maybe in my early 20s and stuff.
32, don't lie.
Yeah. That solo would sometimes make me cry. It would hit me. Sometimes it would hit me, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, yeah, great choice. I'm for it.
Yeah, perfect. I feel like that's going to be probably a little bit out of the norm, but I'm happy with that. I'm comfortable.
But
I like it because you have to really take your time with it because it's a huge intro. So
what a build up!
So many practice swings. Hurry the fuck up! And you're still going.
You're just standing there with your arms up like this, just
yeah. A little bit like my career when you think about it. Really, lots of build up, but then just tears at the end.
Oh shit! All right, and the last one. This can stump some people as well. But like we said, we got some names in LIV Golf. We got the Range Goats and Fireballs and Cleeks and blah blah blah. What would your team name be if you were the captain of your own team in LIV Golf? What would your team name?
Oh, it's got to be Cool Runnings after that conversation.
GC,
Cool
baby.
runnings, GC.
I was hoping he was going to stick with it.
Kiss the egg.
There's the logo. An egg.
Yeah, just an egg.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
I also think there's got to be something in like no cuts GC or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll stick with cool runnings.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, mate, thank you so much for coming on. For anyone, any of our listeners, obviously,
Yes,
I'm
please.
sure they've all watched your stuff before. And we're so thankful for you coming on, mate, and giving up your time, like we said. Do go check him out on YouTube. Check out all the boys.
Tooms Golf on YouTube, Instagram, and your website as well. You're still doing lessons through the website as well?
So I'm actually not, mate. After all that conversation,
I was wondering why my inquiry wasn't heard.
Oh, no, I
There
need
you
help.
go.
I need help, Tooms.
Yeah, no, look, purely because of everyone either listening to this or watching us on YouTube. As I said, I'm hugely grateful for the opportunity that I've got in front of me. And it feels surreal that I've been able to park the other stuff and just, let this other stuff become my life. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
massive thanks to everyone that's listening and watching and all you guys' support.
Awesome. Thank you so much
No, you're the
again.
man.
We appreciate it. Good luck for the future. We'll be watching. And thanks for coming on the Watering Hole.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.